up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. We are in episode 100.
Episode 100.
Yes, sir. Now, with that being said, my name is Jared.
Here we go.
My name is Jared.
I gotta get my cue right.
I got Denzel with me, and we're here to talk some cigars and a little bit of everything else, man. With that being said, hey, man, I'm pretty sure we don't have anybody to throw a shout out to that's in a sport we care about. That we care about.
Will Chamberlain put up 100? We ain't gonna shout out Will Chamberlain 100, the myth.
Hey, man, that's what the young boys say. The young boys say it's a myth. If it ain't on YouTube, they don't believe it.
It ain't happening.
You know,
it ain't happening. Hey, but shout out to Will Chamberlain's 100. You know what I'm saying? Man.
Shout out to Will Chamberlain's 100.
We put up 100. We put up 100. We'll put up 100. You know what I'm saying? We have Will Chamberlain numbers right now.
Yeah.
Young boys said this would never happen. We put up 100.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't post it to YouTube. It ain't happened, though. They ain't going to believe it. So, you know, we're going to make sure we get it posted. But, yeah, episode 100 today. And in this week's episode, the stars of the show will be whatever we feel like. Because I personally, you know, when we talked about cigars this week, we're going to do something special. I said, I'm smoking what I enjoy. I'm going to enjoy this episode. So for me, this week personally, I'll be smoking Plasencia. I'll be smoking an Amo Fuerte. And you all know what it is with these cigars. So I probably ain't going to be reviewing it. I'm just going to be in the moment. But I got the black band. I did not get the green band.
Green, okay. Hey,
I've been green so much lately. I'm like, let me go back to black and see is the green the real like I thought it was, you know. So let's just see.
Yeah, and for those who know who's been here, that's where you started at with Plasencia, right?
This was it. I started here, fell in love here. You was like, hey, the green one like that. You need to go check this one out. You can't revisit it, the black. You're like, the green still got it. I went over to the green. I'm like, yeah, the green like that. But let me come back to the black. Let's double back, make sure.
Make sure. Hey, so when you know what you're getting with yours, and you can't go wrong with that. You know, it's an episode to celebrate. So you got your celebratory cigar. You can't go wrong with Plasencia at all. At all. Right. I don't even know which level of Plasencia falls out of that celebratory range. All of them are great, especially when you that Amo Fuerte though. That's in there. That's that top notch celebratory cigar. You know what you're gonna get, time in and time out. It's gonna be a great smoke, and you're gonna enjoy it. No nitpicking. Right. You just know, hey, look, I'm lit. I'm down for the ride. Let's go.
That's what I got. I said, you know, for the centennial, why not? Why not do something I'm going to enjoy instead of taking a risk? I thought to myself, what brand is worthy of the moment? And I said, just because I go with the brand, don't mean I'll be able to trust the stick. There's only one of those companies, one of those brands I'm willing to trust pretty much whatever they dropping.
Yeah, it's only one goes going through. You're talking about throughout the line. That includes Rocky. That includes Cohiba. That includes Drew Estate, all of the big boys, Oliva too. Oliva as consistent as you are. Fuente as consistent as you are. You got one in your stash that's gonna be hit or miss. But Plasencia is the one brand that they're gonna be across the board, just chef's kiss
every time.
Through. Every time. But however, I did take a risk. But I would say it's a calculated risk.
This boy got Belgian waffles today, boy. He done did it again.
Let's not tell that story. Belgian waffles. We gotta tell that story. We got so many stories we could tell. Belgian waffles. Just remember that. Belgian waffles. When we come back to this story, Belgian waffles. Remember that. But hey, look, I went Liga Privada, man. Liga. I got the Year of the Rat.
Okay.
Nice little gold cellophane. Looks like a celebratory stick.
It does.
Smells like a celebratory stick. Let's just hope it smokes like a celebratory stick. We're gonna
got that rat tail on the end?
It got the rat tail on the end.
Boom. That's what I'm talking about.
Big tail, rat tail, whatever you want to call it. So I've always heard good things about the Year of the Rat, and it jumped out at me when I was at the Humidor last week. So I said, I'm gonna grab this one, put it in a stash. Definitely sounds like a cigar I can smoke for episode 100. So I got my champagne. I got my year to rat Liga Privada. Liga Privada is one of those names that is usually top notch. They definitely have one of my top 5 favorites in Liga. So I'm hoping that year to rat's no different.
Most definitely. Hey, I trust it, man. I'm actually on my Chinese horoscope. I'm a rat. So
yeah,
rat is trustworthy, man. You know what I'm saying? If we ain't nothing else, trust us.
All right, so I'm gonna do my uncovering, my undressing. Got the gold right there.
Yeah, came out smooth.
She looked good. She smelled good. I like it. I wish I had some matches. I wish I had some cedar sticks, but I do not have any of the above. I just have straight butane. So I'm gonna try to be as gentle as possible when it comes to lighting this thing, man. Hey, no, I'm not bigging. At least I got butane. I got something that's gonna be effective and efficient. But man, I just wish I had some matches or some cedar to go along with it, to add to that atmosphere. But
when would buy you a big old box of matches, man, for the crib, man.
I have them.
All the incense and stuff you burn.
Right. But I got them scattered throughout the crib. I mean, just happen to not be in the area where I'm smoking a cigar today, which is in the studio, in the cigar lounge,
which is preparation. That's all I hear is preparation and lack of.
Hey, come on, soldier. Is that what we doing?
Soldier, Olympian, whatever at this point, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Olympian, man, hey, look, it's 2024. It's time for the Olympics to kick off, which yesterday I believe they had the opening ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
So Olympics is hot and heavy now, which was always a good time for me when I was younger. Always look forward to the Olympics. Particularly starting with 92. 92 was my introduction to it. Look, 9 years old at that time. Dream Team. It was in Barcelona, right?
Mm-hmm. Barcelona. Good times, man.
Good times.
I love the Olympics so much. I watch all the sports I don't watch throughout the year. I watch during the Olympics and be into it.
Into them. Water polo.
Patriotic as ever.
You know what I'm saying? We got the American flag on the swim cap. Go America, right? Go USA.
Mm-hmm.
Water polo. Never watched water polo a day in my life until the Olympics, right?
Right.
Oh man,
put curling in there. I'll watch curling. I'll watch all of it.
Curling.
Power walking.
Power walking.
That American wall.
That's the one. Cheering them on. You better step. Hip swaying, moving, get into it.
Boy, yeah, all of it, man. Very exciting times, man. Very exciting times.
So just the spirit of nostalgia is in the air for me when times like these pop up and it's Olympics. Every 4 years it comes around. Definitely when you link it to the dream team. What they calling this team now? That's in the games. We had the dream team. We had the dream team 2. We had the redeem team.
Yeah, I don't think they got a name for this one. The men's Olympics basketball team is what they call it.
Hey, it's looking appropriate.
It's looking appropriate.
Oh man, hey, look, kind of scary. Some of those games before the Olympics officially started, they were kind of close. Sudan gave USA a run for their money. They probably should have lost that game, to be frank with you.
Yeah, it kind of looked like the refs blew a play at the end. You know what I mean? So
could have been a foul. They could have had some free shots, some free throws, and would have put the game on ice.
Now, with that being said, I know we all jump into conclusions and worried about this team. The Dream Team did lose their first game together. You know what I mean? The Dream Team did lose their first game together. Being fair.
Yeah.
This team ain't lost yet. They ain't lost yet. So maybe they're struggling to get their their unity together and
the chemistry working.
that chemistry going and whatnot. So we'll see. All that matters is now moving forward. If they start stepping on teams and squashing them, cool. Now on the flip side, I've seen, I believe, where Steve Kerr's been quoted as saying that the guys really ain't been trying, and that's believable. So hopefully they get focused and they start trying.
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, in that Sudan game, they were down significantly. And then you're like, yo, you know what? We're going to turn this thing on. They turned it on. They came back towards the end of it and got it done. So, I mean, to assume if that's the case, that they haven't been really trying, which is why they were down so significantly in that Sudan game, but then were able to come back and make up that difference and get it going and ultimately pull it out because, hey, look, all right, let's take this game serious. Let's go ahead and get it done.
Yeah. But that also speaks to the difference in the character of some of the guys too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like hearing that they're not trying. I don't like that.
Yeah.
No, I want my guys competitive. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the difference between the dream team
from the day you step on the court, the first day you step on the court, competitive and ready to go.
Ready to go. They wanted to prove that you didn't belong on the court with them, regardless of who you were. It wasn't today's just an exhibition. Let's go through the motions and we'll get the dub, which is it looks like that's apparently what these guys are doing. So it's a different in mentalities and eras and stuff. But we've always seen it. We've seen the end of the competitive age, where a lot of guys have started to lose competitiveness. And I mean, we see glimpses of it potentially coming back, through certain players that's in the league now, but it ain't there yet,
Yeah, this last playoffs, NBA playoffs, kind of show that that competitive nature is still there. It's still there. It's seeping back through. You know what I'm saying? People feeling like they got a reason to actually go ahead and get the job done. Years past, if the Olympics would have came around 2 years ago, 3 years ago, after that last one, and you see the demeanor of some of these players, it's more about the money, it's more about looking pretty, it's more about just the idea that I'm an NBA player versus I need to represent myself as a player and then also my country or my team or whatever it is.
Right.
That level of go hard and go get it done, it's kind of diminished a couple years ago. So it's coming back. It's coming back.
Good to see it come back. I'm gonna say this. One of my boys, he was texting me about the game, and being fair to him, basically saying, the Sudan game specifically, saying, doesn't it mean more to win in the moment when it's a tough win versus a hard fought victory? Don't that mean more than just a blowout? And I had to think for a second because I'm supposed to say but I paused and I thought about it for a second. I'm like, nah, bro, they all hit the same for me. Like the win, I love,
you gotta get that win.
I love squashing somebody. If I can step on you and make you feel like you don't belong there and kill your confidence, I feel good about that personally. Like I love a blowout. Like I'll take a blowout just as quick as a hard fought victory. And a blowout might do more for my ego than a hard fought victory.
No, and that's the thing. Like a blowout will do more for your ego to say I can squash anybody anytime as long as I'm on. But those hard fought wins, they do bring that character out of you to say, hey, look,
do more for your character.
When the chips are down, I can still pull through and I can still, persevere, whatever. It does to build that. But when it comes to these type of games, you talking about the Olympics, you want to dominate. To me, when it comes to Olympics, it's about domination. You know what I mean? You want to show, hey, look, because back in the day, I remember looking at the newspaper or looking forward to the results after every day to see how many gold medals the USA had versus how many China had versus how many the UK had, and I wanted to see us up by double digits. You know what I'm saying? I want to see us with 30 medals, everybody else down with 10.
I did not like them bronze US medals when they would come through. I didn't like them personally.
You need the gold. Give me the gold. I need to see, okay, we up by 20. You know what I'm saying? The next number 2 got 20 gold medals less than we do. We got 40. The next one got 21. That's what I need to see. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate the next one after that got
8.
Right. So I like the dominance of it. So I know I'm supposed to say hard fought victory means something, but it's like, hey man, mean about
Nah,
as
not
much as
these games.
smashing somebody mean to me. Like, you know what I'm
Not
saying?
in
I
these
like
games.
both.
Not in these games. We want to see dominance. We want to
Yeah.
dominate.
I want to see you beat the hell out of some people, man. I don't like seeing the South Sudan, you know,
Yeah, give me them
a
40,
game
50,
winner
60 point game.
in the GOAT's face. I don't
In
like
the GOAT's
that.
face.
Like,
You supposed to be the greatest in the world. Y'all supposed to, when y'all say world champions, when y'all win a
Yeah.
NBA champion or whatever sport, world champions. This is the World Series. This is the NBA Finals, and y'all are world champions, meaning y'all the best in the world.
right.
World. And that's
Right.
kind of arrogant for us to claim that if we win the championships in our United States to say, hey, we are
in
world
America.
champions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. We world champions.
But everybody's fighting to get to that league. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you really like that, you're gonna make it to that league one day. You come into that league if you like that. You know, I don't know if you know this, but your old former player, I just learned this yesterday. Darko Milicic still plays somewhere in the world in a league.
Really?
He don't play in the NBA no more because ain't good enough.
You
know what I mean?
Cutting the mustard, yeah.
But he still plays somewhere. And a lot of these guys got they start somewhere, like a Luka, you know, eventually make their way on over when they
make it to the big leagues. And then also when an NBA player skills diminish a little bit and they can't play in the league, like a Patrick Beverly, end up getting that deal across seas or something like that, or Dwight Howard, and they go over to other countries and dominate.
Over there. He's a monster right now.
Taiwan, right?
Yeah, he's putting up
Jeremy
like 60
Lin.
points. He's like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Beast. Yeah.
Lynn Sanity was still alive and well a couple years. I don't know if he's still playing, but Lynn Sanity was still getting it in.
Yeah, it continued
over in China.
Yeah.
So hey, look, world champions, we need to dominate. Dominate. I want to see us dominate every single sport, but except for long distance running. Them Kenyans, they gonna kill us.
They're gonna do what they do there, man. Let's get silver over there in that. You know what I'm saying?
silver. No. It's gonna be bronze because it's gonna be two Kenyans that's gonna win first and second place.
Yeah, you're right. You got it.
Every single time.
You got it. You're right. But yeah, man, the Olympics is kicking off and it's gonna be exciting stuff, man. I can't wait to tune in, man, and see all the results and just enjoy it. And man, this is gonna be exciting for me because this is gonna be the first year I can watch it with my sons and really put them on to it.
Oh yeah.
You know, looking forward to it.
Yeah, show them what it is, and hopefully bring that spirit to them. And also remind them the Olympics was in Atlanta. Be like, hey, look, once upon a time, them games that was like that, they was you know what I'm saying?
Around the city, you know.
Yeah, which was big. That always blows my mind. Of all the cities in the whole world, Atlanta had it. And at the time of 1996, you know what I'm saying?
That was in Freaknik Atlanta years. We hadn't quite became what we were going to become yet. You know what I mean? Like
not quite gentrified just yet. Not gentrified Atlanta.
Not quite.
Not quite gentrified. Boy, Atlanta gentrified, boy.
Hey man, a lot of cities are though, man. It ain't just Atlanta, man. You know, it's
but I don't mind it. Hey, let me ask you a question about that too. I've been meaning to ask you about that since the last time I was out there with you, and seeing that gentrification
taking place
of the city taking place, like the same little strips and areas that used to be a certain neighborhood or a certain this, and you see that gentrification happen. I'm seeing the same things happen in San Antonio, where San Antonio's finally catching up to the rest of the cities in Texas, like Houston and Dallas, Austin, all that stuff. And they're actually finally putting work into the city. And I'm seeing comments about how they don't want to see the gentrification happen. And it's like, here we go. They're bringing this over here and they're doing this. And we ain't these guys over here. But do you have a problem with gentrification?
I don't. And I don't want to sound out of touch when I say I don't have a problem with it. But I don't have a problem with it because you can benefit from it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to live in the hood forever.
That's what I'm saying.
You ain't got to live in the hood forever, baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? We don't have to own that neighborhood. Like we can own stuff in the neighborhood, and when the neighborhood gets value, we can sell and make money off of that too. You know what I'm saying? Like we can come up with the come up. We don't always have to look at it like it's got to be ours. The slum is ours. Like Like we
Yeah.
hold on to some of the weirdest stuff, the stuff we should hold on culturally. We don't hold on to none of that, but we want to hold on to these little raggedy neighborhoods and stuff and continue to claim them and want them to stay in the conditions they're in. Like,
Yeah, because here's the thing. I'm gonna say this too. Like the whole idea of not appreciating gentrification is weird to me. You know, and that takes me back to like say Detroit. You know, where a lot of my family's from, all my family's from, pretty much, right? And Detroit was once it was a monster, beautiful spot of people thriving. You know what I'm saying? Black people thriving as well. You know what I'm saying? So the rundown neighborhoods that we've gotten years later as the city diminished, they weren't always that. You know, where my grandmother and grandfather moved in, where my dad and my mom was raised on the east side of Detroit.
Like when they moved in,
it didn't look like how it looks like now over the last 20 years. It looked like beautiful neighborhoods. It looked like, you know what I'm saying, healthy middle-class families, you know, upper middle-class families even, you know, working hard. Some of them working, like my grandfather working 2 jobs, my other grandfather a musician, you know, just doing what they got to do to make sure that their family and families are being well taken care of. Talking about the 50s, 60s, even into the 70s. It's now that years later we get into the 80s, 90s, and we get the deterioration of these neighborhoods. Crack era, you know, crack epidemic, all of that stuff, high crime rates, absent fathers, all those things starting to take place, and then the neighborhoods begin to diminish, and then that's what we want to hold on to. But not understanding that these neighborhoods weren't like that 20 years prior.
Big facts, man. We tease my mom all the time. Like, I mean, yeah, you grew up in the hood. When we go back to where she from, but she like, I didn't grow up in the hood. It became this. It became the hood. Became the hood. It was not that when we moved in and we lived here. It was a black neighborhood, but we were not the same neighborhood it is today. And that's just what it is. Like,
like I'll go back to my grandmother's time. Yeah, and we want to hold on to that. Like I go back to my grandmother's house, right, on the east side of Detroit, and God bless her soul. She's 80 plus. I can't remember exactly how old, but she's over 80, and she is thriving. Hit the casinos all the time. She's still in the casinos. She enjoying life, right? But she's one of the only people who are still there from when she moved into that neighborhood in the 60s, right? My grandfather's now been gone for almost 10 years now, and she's still, you know what I'm saying, living in the same house, and she's living, right? But I remember going to that same house in the 80s, 90s, and then over time watching that same street, the same houses across the street or next door just begin to deteriorate. Right? They're not kept up the same. Other families are moving in, or if somebody inherits a house and they don't take care of it the same, and then seeing the neighborhood diminish over time. But going back to the early 90s or late 80s or even late 90s, it was a nice neighborhood, a nice street, nice block. Everything was well taken care of. And my grandmother's still there, but then seeing everybody else around as other family members move on and pass on, and then they come in and they don't necessarily take care of the home like they like the grandparents did. And you just see that deterioration happen. And then that's what we want to hold on to. I say let the gentrification happen. You know, because you ain't taking care of it no way.
There you go. That's what I was about to say. And black people, that is not white people's problem or their fault. That's our fault. That's our fault. That's our problem. We took care of it. There will be no gentrification needed. It's on us.
It wouldn't be needed. Yeah, we would be thriving enough to where those blocks, that property, those buildings would still be thriving. But we, you know what I'm saying, we let them go to waste and then get mad when somebody comes in and makes good use of it.
Yeah, you know, and now the value's raised and we can't afford to stay there no more. And now we mad.
And now you mad.
Well, put yourself in a position where you don't have to continue to stay in neighborhoods at that value. You know what I mean? Because more than likely, these people, like you just said, their scenario ain't your grandma's scenario, where they grew up in this, they bought in the 60s and lived there for the past 60 years. Their situation is, I'm you know, alive in the 90s and 2000s, and I can only afford to be in this neighborhood that's now become the hood. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it's different. So it's one thing if I was here when it was good and I'm here throughout the changes. And it's another thing if
Yeah.
I'm never improving or growing as a person and I'm always just in poverty and I need to be where
So
the
my thing
poverty
is stop complaining about gentrification. And if you don't want to see gentrification, then like Ross say, buy back the block, buy your block, put money into it, and do your own gentrification.
Simple as that. They ain't gotta do it for us. We could do it for ourselves.
We can do it.
Like,
We can do it for ourselves, but we don't have
yeah.
enough pride in it. Pride in the right sense. You
No,
know, to
it ain't
make
no
sure
pride,
that we keep
man.
that we keep our blocks to a certain standard, to a certain level of living, something that we can be proud of instead of being proud of the hood. You know what I mean? Like the hood
Yeah.
wasn't always the hood as like you mentioned. Like,
Yeah.
let's be proud of our neighborhoods. Be proud of our neighborhoods. It's okay. Well,
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
I just
That topic came out of
hate
left field,
hearing.
but yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
with
I
you.
mean it's hey, look. I told you I got a lot on my mind, man. Got a lot on my mind for 100 episodes. But
Man,
yeah.
speaking of people that feel like stuff is old to you, you sent me the clip of Kobe, best
Ooh,
friend.
yeah.
You want to jump into that?
Yeah, we can get into that.
So look, I'm gonna see if I'm gonna put it on the mic and see if it'll come through. And you let me know how it sounds. If it sounds like crap, forget it. I'll just, quote him.
I don't want no handouts. I don't want no money.
This
I
is
don't want
Kobe's
shit.
best friend.
This is what I need you to do.
From high
I'm
school.
out here struggling. I got 2 kids. I got a family, man. All I want to do is go back with you. You get me out there, LA somewhere, man. Put me with somebody where I can make my own money. You just like get me in, and I'm working for somebody or I'm doing something or a business, anything to benefit myself. So, and I don't want nothing free. I don't want to work. I don't want to do nothing but work for it. He Kobe Bryant. He could put me with anybody. But or he could do it himself. Put me as a security on the security team, anything. We were super tight. There's no way he shouldn't do this for me. So I said that to him. He said, "Oh yeah, that'll be no problem, no problem." I'm like, "Yo, I need a number. I don't got no number on you. How me get back to you?" He gives me a phone number. I'm happy as hell. I'm happy now. I'm like, I'm my man wouldn't much my man. I'm back with my guy. I'm about to get out of here. I'm amped up. He leave. I go back to the house. The next day I call. It's an assistant dude's phone number. It's not even him. Not getting him on the phone. I can't never get to me. I'm still doing my thing to survive, but that's in the back of my mind. Like, man, my man might come and get me. It's like a dream type of thing. Just in the back of my head because he's one of my best friends, period. Like, but nah, that's not what happened. I went to his cousin. His cousin came to me. He said, "Kev, I'm going to tell you something about this guy. Dude is a certified piece of shit. The man never did nothing for nobody in his family. Like he got a $500 million empire. His sisters was working regular jobs. You see his mom and them got to fucking sell memorabilia and shit. But even when he was home, remember that memorabilia shit? That's because dude just a certified. He just don't care about nobody but his wife and them and a new family. One thing.
Now, that right there goes to the mentality of, back to what we were talking about with the gentrification subject. You know what I mean? Just people feeling like somebody else got to do it. Hey, look, man, don't you ever don't no man, talking to the men, ever let it fly out your mouth. My man gonna come save me. You know how weak you sound? You know how weak you sound as a man? As a man, this man is gonna come save me. Save me from what? From my bills and my financial responsibilities?
My responsibilities for my life. You know what I'm saying? How crazy does that sound? How crazy does that sound? And you know what's funny? Like if you go back to the very first statement he makes, I don't need no handout or I don't want you to do anything for me, but I need you to. Yeah. You just completely contradicted everything you said. And that's the mentality. It's like people thinking that, hey, I'm not asking for anything when they're asking for things. You know what I'm saying? Other than you going out and pulling yourself up by your bootstraps in a sense and putting your fingers in the dirt and getting it done as a man. Now with that said, if you do have a friend or somebody who loves to look out for you, great. You know what I'm saying? But you can't expect that to be everybody's character, for one, or you can't expect for that to be a normalcy that somebody is going to come save you for something. It's not their responsibility, even if that is your best friend, your brother, your cousin, family member, whoever. It's not their responsibility to do that for you. Now, if they feel like they owe back to the person who put them in position, then that might be some kind of ownership there to say, hey, look, out of respect for you getting me here, you know what I'm saying? Because Kobe didn't get to where he is all by himself, right? Somebody had to pour into him. If he owes anybody, he owes maybe those people who poured into him to make sure that he was able to get to a point of where he is. And even still then, those people who poured into him shouldn't have been poured into him with the expectation of receiving anything. So whether he gives back to them or not, he doesn't even have to, because we don't do what we do for people. You don't owe them anything. Yeah. Honestly, but a thank you and some gratitude. That's about it. That's about it. Man. So for your mans who didn't even help put you in position to get to where you at, you definitely don't owe him anything. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And for us talking about black men who some of us have that expectation that, hey, if you get on, you better put me on. Like, oh, wow. And Cam and Mace, speaking of that whole dynamic, that was an issue with Cam and Mace back in the day until Cam kind of matured and understood the whole process of things. So that man really didn't owe me anything. But then what he did do for me was more than enough. It was more than enough.
Put you on the biggie. I put you on the big. Your whole career started from that moment. That's it. Drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it, man. You don't. Hey, look, man. Is Kobe selfish? Yeah, he's selfish, man. He's a selfish dude. He was a selfish dude, and that's part of. I say this, and I don't know if I said it on the show, but people say people have good traits and bad traits. No, we just have traits, and some traits get used in situations that allow them to look like positive traits, and sometimes those same traits are put in scenarios where they're not as positive, and they end up becoming your bad. Your good is your bad, and your bad is your good. They're just traits. His selfishness allowed him to lock in, focus, and work on his craft till he became the greatest of all time when he really wasn't supposed to be one of the greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying? But he worked himself to that through his selfishness. Now, that same selfishness can be a bad trait when presented in your social life, but hey, man, it is what it is, man. He didn't owe it to nobody. Like, would it have been nice? Yeah, it'd have been nice.
Would have been nice.
Could it be viewed as the right thing to do in some situations? Yeah, it could be viewed, but it ain't. It's not obligatory. Like, at the end of the day, like, and that's what it comes down to. Let's say, for instance, you have a situation where you're gonna come into potentially billions of dollars. As my guy, you don't. Be nice if you looked out for me, but we can continue our relationship if you don't. You know what I'm saying? And you come into it because you don't owe me that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not looking for somebody else to save my life. Like, that's my responsibility. And if they save theirs and not mine, so be it. When you on a plane, what do they say? Do get yourself with the mask on first before you help somebody else.
Help somebody else.
You're responsible for yourself. Like, first and foremost. And if you do anything extra, you did extra, but you're not obligated to extra. Like, people be tripping.
And the crazy thing is for him to speak on this after Kobe ain't here, I guarantee he wouldn't have said that if Kobe was still here. Why? Because
the door would still be open to get that money.
Still be open. Now that the door was closed and he know he ain't getting nothing, now chatter all day. But that's the crazy thing. So which shows Kobe probably did the right thing by not giving him anything. Because if that was truly your man, you sucker mentality, sucker traits, like, you didn't deserve that anyway. If you can fix your mouth to say that about your man's, regardless of how
he
much
only
money
looked out for his family and his wife, his immediate family, his wife and his kids. He looked out for his wife and his kids. He didn't look out for nobody else.
That's who he owed. That's what he was supposed to do, and that's what you should be doing. Right. Go look out for your wife and kids. Go work hard. Go lock in. Have that same Mamba mentality to go get the same not necessarily the same level of success, but your version of it for who
Right.
you are and the people that you are charged to lead. You know, I just hate seeing stuff like that, and that's not the first example I've ever seen like that, even in a personal sense. You know what I'm saying? With friends of mine that I've had in the past, and like, man, why you ain't doing this for me? You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm in a tough spot, but you made your decision, us at the same age and the same grade, to go this way and for me to go that way. Don't mean my road ain't been tough. It ain't been hard, and I ain't had to grind and sweat and tears and blood and all that stuff that I had to give up to make it where I'm at. And you went through this hard route and you're having a hard time. Guess what? We both got two hearts. You got your heart, I got my heart. Pause. But but just because your heart is not leading to any residual, and mine is, I owe you. Kobe went through a hard route. He worked hard. He sacrificed a lot.
Yeah.
You going through a hard route. Kobe don't owe you nothing. That your man's who's working hard to get to where he needs to get to take care of his family, take care of himself, and put himself in a position. I don't owe you nothing. Both you guys had a certain path. You both had certain hardships. It's just one hardship resulted in an abundance of this, and yours resulted in an abundance of some negatives. That's your ownership. It's your ownership.
That's on you. And I'll say this: as a parent, my kids don't owe me nothing either. They don't owe me nothing. My kids become millionaires. They don't owe me $1. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I brought them here. They ain't asked to come here. I put them through this life they got to go through. That ain't their choice. So therefore, I train you up. I give you the game because I brought you here so you can survive here. And if you happen to thrive while you here, you don't owe me nothing. You know what I'm saying? You don't owe me nothing. Good job.
Good. You got it. Good job.
I got the payout by seeing you succeed with the blueprint I gave you. That's enough for me. If you choose to do something for me, cool. I want to be able to do more for my parents than what I do for them. But I don't owe it to them. I don't owe it to them. They did what they did.
You see that a lot
for
with
the same
parents.
reason I do it to my parents. I mean, the same reason I owe it to my kids, they owed it to me, and that's why they did what they did. And I want to be able to pay them back more, but I'm not obligated to be able to pay them back more. Like,
yeah. And you see that a lot with some parents thinking that their kids owe them something. That's a whole another conversation right there. Kids don't. I mean, like, I have adult children or adult child, right?
mm-hmm.
And I had this conversation with her, matter of fact, just last week. And I'm like, I'm not looking for you to owe me or to do anything for me. How you pay me back is by you going out and you just being the best you that you can be in the best situation that you can possibly be. Right. I'm not looking for you to give me anything, right? Because she's been in a situation to where she's been doing more than what I feel like she should be doing at her age, right? Taking care of somebody else's children, taking care of their house, helping them take care of their household. And it's a whole nother adult, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, do you see the difference between the lifestyle that you're living over there versus what you had with your family? It's like, we're not looking for anything from you, but for you to just go and thrive and be the best you that you can be, versus somebody looking for you to do something for them. No, go do something for yourself. I had to encourage her on that. Like, go do something for yourself. Like, go build for yourself, not for anybody else. That's how you can pay me back. Like, I'm not looking for you to give me anything.
Right.
And that's how a lot of parents, they get it wrong in a lot of senses when they try to push their kids to do certain things or put them and get mad that they didn't make a certain decision to buy their mom a house or buy their dad a car or put some money in their accounts because they helped them get to a certain
sacrifice for you and you can't do this for me. Nah, you sacrifice because you were supposed to. Stop being a sucker. You're supposed to do that.
Supposed to.
Now you wanna thank you because you were supposed. You want to feel like you supposed to be re-gifted because you were supposed to do what you were supposed to do. Nah, man, you don't get no pat on the back for that. That was what you were obligated to do. That was your responsibility. My kids, they don't have to do that. If they choose to, great. But hey, man, I had a 30-year head start on them. Like, you know what I'm saying? It ain't on them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they get it right, They don't owe me nothing. I had the head start to get it right and and take care of myself. Like, so man, forget that.
Yeah, and a lot of parents get it wrong. I see it often. I see it often in my parent class group or whatever of people who have adult children, and like, man, they ain't doing this for me. And you hear it in sports all the time, and it's like, no, they don't owe you nothing. They don't owe you nothing. I mean, now can they, especially when you've gone above and beyond, right? But you do it because you want to. You do it because that's your character as a parent, your character as a man or a father or a mother. You know, this is what you decide to do for your children, to put them in, but they don't owe you anything still. Respect. That's about it.
Respect.
Love and respect. Respect what I did for you, what I've done for you.
That's it. If you appreciate the fact that I made a sacrifice, that's above and beyond what you owe.
That's all I want, all I need, all I care for.
Yeah. Appreciate that I did make a sacrifice, and it won't easy. But you ain't got to pay me back for it. I didn't do it as a loan. You know what I'm saying? That you were gonna pay
yeah. And don't get it wrong. Your kids are your investment. You do invest in your kids. That's why we put them in the certain schools we put them in, and they go to college. We pay thousands of dollars, sometimes out of pocket.
Right. But you do that,
and they might not finish.
Look, me. But with that being said, you do that because you want them to live an easier life than you lived. And that's really your intention behind it. You know what I'm saying?
You just want to set them up in the best way possible.
Yeah.
That's why we do it, but not because we want something back from it. And those parents who do that because they want something back for it, they might have a rude awakening one day when it don't come back around.
Yeah, you got
especially with these new kids. I tell you, some of them don't appreciate nothing. They feel entitled. They feel like you're supposed to do that to me.
Yeah, entitled is a problem too. But that's a whole nother subject there, man.
A whole nother subject. But we can keep rolling. But anyway, man. Hey, I know we're a little late for mid way reviews for this stick, for our sticks, not for yours, because we already know that yours is probably doing this thing. It's doing this thing. But You're the Rat. Top notch. But we'll get to that later. I'm gonna give you a full review of my stick. I'm gonna give you a full review.
I look forward to it. I expect it.
I'm actually kind of hyped to give my my review of this. It's feeling like 100 episodes. It's feeling like 100 episodes. I'm gonna say that for now.
Okay. Dope. So that being said, in the news this past week, we've had a situation where another cop is shot and killed someone in their home, this time, sister, who called because she had concerns. She didn't feel safe, and she called the people that you call to protect and serve, and she ended up losing her life.
Yeah, very much so, not protected and not served.
Yeah, man. It's really not a lot that we can say is from an angle different from what anybody else feels. I mean, we all feel like, I think is a consensus. Most people that I've heard speak on the topic feel like the cop was wrong. I think where I would like to take the conversation is more into the side of why these things continue to happen. And we kind of talked about it a little bit before we started recording. But from my point of view, I think a lot of this comes down to these cops, and specifically why they're shooting Black people and killing Black people so often. I think it comes down to the fact there's a fear of Black people with these cops. From my personal point of view, I think they don't know Black people outside of what they see on TV and social media, and they have this innate concern or worry or fear of them. And then anything that triggers them to believe that Black person is behaving in a way that they see on TV, or whatever their own prejudice of Black people is coming true, they react out of fear and irrationally and end up killing these Black people unfairly. And that's my particular take on it. It's easy to sum it up as racism, but I think it's more prejudice than just pure hatred of black people. I think it's like if I'm afraid of dogs, any little action a dog does is gonna trigger me.
Agitated by it, yeah.
Not it just agitated. I just might be afraid. Oh snap! He about to do something, and I might end up being aggressive where aggression isn't necessary at the moment to fix the situation. Maybe the dog wasn't about to bite me. Maybe he was gonna walk up, sniff me, lick me, and then jump up on me and ask for a treat. But I didn't give it a chance because I was afraid. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then you misinterpreted the dog's response to you or their actions towards you.
Yes, because I've gone into it with this preconceived idea that he's gonna try to hurt me or he's gonna do something crazy. Like, and I think it's happening too often, man. You got too many people in protecting communities that they don't know how to deal with the people. They don't know how to interact with them. They have no experience with them.
I remember this conversation a few years back when we started hearing a lot of when a lot of this was put to the forefront, particularly around COVID time, 2020, where we started hearing a lot of situations, especially the George Floyd, the Sandra Bland, Brianna, I can't remember her last name. Yeah, when they went to her home and shot her up. But it's like the conversation of having police officers who are from the community serve that community. Why? Because you understand the tendencies of the people in that community. You understand the language. You understand the posture of how they present, right? The culture of it. Like
Jesus, in the name of Jesus, I rebuke you. We all know what that means.
Yeah,
we all know what that means. That's not a threat. Like, you know what I'm saying?
To him, it was a threat, a misinterpreted threat. That you mean that you're going to do some kind of physical harm to me. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't feel like it was more so like racially driven, like he killed her because she was black. I'm just a racist cop, and I'm just going to go out to kill black people. But it's something to be alarmed at. It's just because, hey, you have people serving in communities that they have no buy-in with. They have a preconceived idea, preconceived notion, some kind of prejudice, like you mentioned, and they see something that pertains to what that prejudice is, or what they think to be some kind of behavior from what I heard how black people are, or how I heard how this group of people are, or this religious group, or this culture of whatever.
Any of that,
I'm going to respond this way, and that's what I think was the case of what happened. And then also that disconnect between particular cultures. It made it easy for me to shoot this black woman. This is my opinion, because there's something foreign to me. Now, if I feel like it was a white woman and it resembled his mother, sister, cousin, aunt, niece, or whatever, then he would have been slower to pull that trigger, because I understand this person who has my hue or has my particular cultural background, that I have some kind of understanding and familiarity with this individual or type of individuals that it would have been slow to pull that trigger on.
Or I can just look at him like a human. I can look at him like a human. I have
something else foreign.
My wife's best friend is black, and she's at the house every day. You know what I'm saying? That's a person. They regular. She got the same struggles I got. You know what I'm saying? I know her like that. Like, that's a human. Let me not do nothing irrational. Like,
Yeah. And that's why that's why I feel like when you see say a white cop with a white criminal, or somebody who has some kind of criminal behavior, and they subdue the individual instead of shooting the individual, they have a little bit more patience, because that looks like my brother, that looks like my dad, that looks like my cousin.
You remind me of so-and-so from school that I used to hang with, man. I ain't gonna do this.
I have a little bit more patience and a little bit more understanding with trying to understand his plight and what he's going through. Man, why are you acting this way? Let me just subdue you real quick so we can try to get to the root cause and try to figure out what's wrong with you, so I can understand you. Yeah, we're still gonna take you. We're still gonna handcuff you. And we're still gonna take you down to the precinct, and we're still gonna get your prints. But I'm more willing to talk you through the process. And then even if you're a criminal, You might, all right, let the justice system do their job and treat you as such, but let's give you a fair shake. Let the justice system do what they're supposed to do instead of me making the ultimate judgment call of taking your life, and now you're up out of here. Now you have
in this situation, this guy came to write a report.
Yeah.
How did we get here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You came to write a report, brother. Like, you know, you came to write a report and somehow y'all ended up miscommunicating, and there's boiling water that, you know, you take as a threat. And I guess maybe she even took as potentially protecting her. She could use to protect herself.
Yeah. Because I got two white men who don't look like me. They don't look like my family. They're posing a threat. They're pointing guns at me. It's more of them than there is of me. And they're coming at me with guns, yelling at me. And I'm already agitated in this situation because I called you. So I'm already paranoid. Whatever the situation might be, people say she had a mental disorder, whatever. I don't know. But still, she called for some kind of help. So she was already on edge about some things. And now I see two people coming at me with guns, and I didn't even do anything to them.
Right.
So guess what? Even if I threw the boiling water, they were coming at me with guns. And I called them because I needed help. I ain't got a gun pointed at them.
And even if I hit you with the boiling water, is that a fatal attack?
No.
Does that warrant?
It'll hurt. Ask Al Green who got some hot grits. It'll hurt.
You know what I'm saying? Al's still here though, and it made him more of a spiritual man. So it turned out good from Al. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Yeah, but you're on the other side of a counter. She's in the kitchen. You're in the living room. You got a door right behind you. You got another room off to your right. You could have retreated to the room.
She's not a criminal.
Out. You know what?
I'm
gonna just leave you alone. You got that boiling water in your hand. I don't like the situation. Hey, ma'am, you have a great night. Simple as that.
Have a great night. I can't finish this report. I know you called me for this. I can't do my job because of these conditions. I'm gone.
Yeah. Simple as that.
I don't see no threats. You're safe.
Simple as that.
The only threat I see is you at this point. I'm out. But no, that's not the sucker, man. Suckers. I keep going back to this word. This is the third time, third segment, third word, third time.
What's up? Hey, I guess the common thing for today is stop with the sucker activity.
Yeah, man.
Come on, man. And we speaking to men right now. We speaking to men. Stop with the sucker activity, man. Come on now. You know what I mean? I don't know. But you know, it is what it. Well, not saying it is what it is, because that sounds a little insensitive.
Insensitive, yeah.
Yeah, and dismissive. But it's unfortunate, and I hope that this situation kind of brings to light what kind of authority figures we need to have in certain communities, and we need to stop pushing certain authority in certain communities when they have no tie to these communities. Yeah, ultimately, where I would get at.
I agree with that. And then even if we double back to the Trump conversation with the Secret Service the week before, it goes into also some of these people in their training, man. It just seemed like they not equipped for they're not even not equipped. They just incompetent for the job. Some of these people, man.
That was clear incompetence. Clear incompetence. You know, somebody who's not even trained in weaponry. No better to handle this. No to handle that situation in a better manner. Like, we're not even. Some people who aren't even trained in handling weapons know that, hey, I probably shouldn't have done that. You know, and then also knowing that this officer was prior Army, he was military, and we're training rules of engagement. You can't just go shooting people just because they got a gun in their hand and they might be a threat, or they might have bombs on their person and they could blow you up just by having a conversation with you when they approach you.
Man, it said this dude had 3 DUIs and had been with like 3 or 4 different locations, you know, prior to the one he was working at the time. Probably shouldn't even had a job. Shouldn't have had a job. I can't go get a job at UPS if I got a DUI. Like, I can't go work at Comcast and change cable if I got a DUI. Like, why is this the guy protecting and serving with 3 of them?
Yeah,
and
that lets you know
poor decision making.
Poor decision making.
Man. Poor decision making, man. We got to get better people in these positions, and if there are no better people in these positions, it's really a shame. But I don't know. It goes back to what I said before. I don't have a belief in people. You know what I'm saying?
People,
like,
what'd you say? People suck. Humans suck.
People suck. Humans suck. Humans suck. The Homo sapiens sucks on Earth in 2024. Like, hopefully it gets better, man. Maybe the aliens will come down and swap our DNA and make us better or something.
Hey, we got robots on the way. We got robots on the way. Shout out to Tesla. Tesla's coming out with these robots. They trying to do it.
Well, hopefully AI comes and takes over this place, man. We need a Judge Dredd around here or something, man. You know, to make things better.
The way this world is going, man, I am a little nervous. I ain't gonna lie.
It might work better. It might work better if we could get us some technology that just runs it emotionless and just follows the rules as is. Might be
That's kind of scary though too. Because AI is like, okay, it's fitness criteria. All right, boom, blow their head off. Instead of thinking with logic. Let's just train humans up, right? And just make sure that we got the right people. I don't know, man.
AI is going to think with entire logic. It's not going to think with emotion. So where it will lack, the compassion of I don't look like this thing, so let me save his life. It's going to lack that compassion. But if it meets all the criteria to get shot, it's going to get shot. And hey, man, it is what it is. Don't meet all the criteria. You know what I'm saying? You better miss a check.
Does not compute. Does not check the boxes. All right.
Yeah, bro.
Engage. Yeah, man.
World's crazy.
Hey, it's crazy. Hey, but before we get out of here, I know we got to close the show eventually, and let's end on a more positive note. We had a little hip hop conversation. Man, I'm charged up. I'm juiced up, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my 40s.
Dang.
Dang.
Dang, you in your 40s.
But hey, look, man, we seeing a nice little resurgence of some hip hop heads from back in the day coming back, killing it, getting to it. It's exciting to see for me. I'm Will Smith. He came back. I don't really care for much for that, but LL getting to it. Man. Nas was at it doing his thing. Killer Mike won a Grammy. Nas won a Grammy. You know what I'm saying? We seeing the resurgence of some good old fashioned, nice, smooth, barred up hip hop getting back into the forefront. Like, hey, it's out there for us to actually grab and appreciate again. So I'm just encouraged with that.
You know what it could be? This is my guess. Now that people are realizing the money's not there, it's only the people that got actual passion for it might be the ones doing it at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Because streaming has definitely messed up the money for a lot of these people who are claiming to be musicians or artists or whatever, unless they're getting that big cosign by, you know, say Illuminati and anything like that, but you know what I'm saying, that big cosign, and they're just funded with a bunch of money, which is now becoming a select few. You know what I'm saying? I think the look of those who are getting that big push, the class is getting smaller and smaller. Yeah. So now you're having those people who actually love the art, who love the process of music, who actually love putting out quality. They're doing it for the love, and it's being appreciated by people like myself, and I'm assuming you too.
Yeah. And with that being said, if we can continue to get a nice little run where artists are putting out music for the love and it ain't about the money no more, eventually that next generation that's inspired will be inspired to make music in that same vein versus the vein that we're in.
Because it ain't all about the money. These corporations are still getting the biggest brunt of it, especially with the way that streaming structure is. You're seeing fractions on pennies for every stream on Tidal or Apple Music or Spotify. It ain't coming like that. So you got to, if you're doing it because you love it, not because you're getting that big payday.
Agreed.
Yeah, so I'm excited, man. I'm excited. So shout out to LL who getting to it. He has some couple joints out there that sound. Q-Tip produced it. You know what I'm saying? It's where it's at. Where it's at.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Ladies Love Cool James, man. Most definitely one of the legends. And originator of GOAT, by the way.
You got on a bucket hat.
Yeah,
you got a Kango.
It's only right. Nah, it's Adidas, but you know, if it was Kango, it'd be perfect.
Adidas though. Adidas. Run DMC.
My deep man. Hey, that's what they think we listen to too. When they be talking about millennials, they think we listen to that.
Oh, that's the hip hop y'all like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, which that's why I learned hip hop at that. I learned it at that. Hip.
We did, and we did.
Did the hip. Yeah,
Hip hop, you know,
that was my introduction to hip hop while y'all playing.
Yeah, man. But hey, man, this episode 100, a monumental episode for us. Believe it or not, it's the close of season 2, and we're getting ready to go into season 3. And I feel like I personally, and I'm pretty sure you did, ended your 100th episode on a high note with your Placencia. Do you got anything to say about Placencia right now?
Placencia is it's the pinnacle. It's the pinnacle of cigars, man. That's what the P on this band stands for, pinnacle.
I like it. I like it.
It's like that on every level. I will say the green band probably slightly better, as we talked about, but this the particular black band for the Alma Fuerte, it's as good as it gets, man. Outside of going with the green band. So great experience. I'm happy with my choice of cigars to go with. I haven't put the thing down. Y'all seen me smoking it nonstop the entire episode. Go get you a Placencia Alma Fuerte if you haven't already. That's my review of today's cigar.
Yeah, for those who have not experienced Placencia's Alma Fuerte, you are missing out. 1,000% you are missing out. It is creme de la creme. You know what I'm saying? Top notch smoke. Especially if you want to enjoy yourself, you want to celebrate, you want to have I would even say a flawless smoke, man. I jump out the window and say it's almost flawless. It's flawless. It's flawless. It's flawless.
Until you find the flaw, it's flawless.
It's flawless. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's flawless.
So I'm with it.
Flawless victory.
But let me talk about this.
The Raiden hat,
provider, man. Say what?
I got the Raiden hat. Now that I said that, flawless victory.
Mortal Kombat.
Raiden.
More nostalgia. Don't have me go down the line of nostalgia now. Let's I can go down a rabbit hole. But let me talk about
Year to Rat.
Drew Estates, Year to Rat, Liga Privada, right? Here we go. So I smoked this thing down. Just like you. Yeah. I couldn't put mine down either. I just had to keep puffing this and keep puffing and keep puffing.
We went in.
Yeah, we went in today for real. Just because it was just that great. It was just that great. And when it comes to Liga Privada, I had the number 9, which is one of my favorites, the T52, which is another one of my favorites. I had the H99, the Flying Pig. The list goes on. As far as whatever Liga Privada puts together, they do a really, really, really great job of presenting quality cigars and nice smokes. And I would say that this is probably another one of my favorites. Now I'm gonna have to go for a T52, a number 9, and this Year to Rat. I'm gonna have to go back to back on them and try to figure out which one's the best. I'm there. I'm there when it comes to this. So I would say that it's not the same as far as flavor profile. My palate was, I guess, it was greeted a lot differently than my 2 other favorites, number 9 and the T52. So it had a lot of different flavors, which was pleasant for me, which I enjoyed experiencing. So it gave me something a lot different from that T52 and that number 9. Number 9 T52, very, very similar. Smoke, you can go either way, which one of those you might like better that on that one particular day. But this one is a standout. It's a standout. Gave me a lot of flavors, a lot of good, nice oak tobacco, strong tobacco. I don't know if I ran down the list of how or the details, the specs of this cigar, but it has a Brazilian binder, Honduran, and Ecuador fillers. So that's that nice little combination of different regions that come together, give this thing a nice oaky taste, some good smoky flavor. Almost feels like I'm having a barbecue right now. Like whatever kind of aroma that you get from putting some nice meat on the grill, I'm getting that. And it's Not that smokiness like that Kentucky Cure Fire type of deal, but that just a nice little barbecue, man. I'm at a cookout right now with this thing. It has a little bit of sweetness, like a little mesquite sweetness, not necessarily a spice. The spice is kind of in a tail end, or not tail end, but on the like the back of the palate, like that really like undertone type of deal. But with that smokiness sitting on top of it, a sweet mesquite sitting right there, and then just some good earthiness, oat, and some nuttiness going along with it. And I'm telling you that it marries very, very well. Very well. EQ, not necessarily like a placencia, but EQ'd pretty nicely. Pretty nicely. So I'm gonna have to give this one a top-notch rating. It's gonna be rated above a 4. But now where do we go from here? We're above a 4. We're above a 4.5. Hold on, give me a second. Thick smoke, creamy, good aroma.
You ain't relit.
Good quality.
Good construction.
Good construction. You see it. And you know I'm known for bad burns, but look at that burn. I dropped my ash a little bit earlier. And the ash, the ash was a good ash. I lost it. You saw it.
It was good ash.
I'm gonna say a 4.7 for Flying Pig. Not Flying Pig, I'm sorry. You're the Rat.
You're the rat. You're the rat. Hey man, that's fire, man.
7. This thing was nice. I thoroughly enjoyed this. And I would definitely look for some more in the future and put some of these in the stash. You're the Rat. If you haven't experienced it, go experience it. It is a top-notch liquor provider. Top-notch.
1 to 5, 4.7. That's a fantastic score for a cigar, man.
Yeah, it had everything in there. You see my smoke still? I'm down here. You see how thick that smoke is? It's nice. It's a good vibe.
Shout out to Liga Provider, man. Shout out to Liga Provider. Hey, that was the Wilt Chamberlain.
Wilt Chamberlain.
The Centennial. Episode 100. Hey, we into season 2. Y'all keep y'all lit, man. We love y'all.
Keep your cigars lit. Keep your cigars up. We'll see y'all for season 3. We out.
Yeah.